Hey guys, Katie from the Katie Show blog here, and today I'm bringing you a packing tutorial for what to pack for a winter holiday. So you might remember recently I did a packing guide on how to pack about a week's worth of clothes and carry-on, and this time I wanted to do one a little bit more specific just on how to pack for your winter getaway. Oh, high fives. So I'll admit, this is something I didn't know much about because I'm from Australia and I'm from the hot parts of Australia, like the parts that don't even get cold. So I wasn't even used to being in it. I didn't really look into it until moving to Europe and then doing some of the winter getaways I've done around here. And I'll admit, I made a lot of mistakes at first. I think at first I just thought everything had to be big and bulky and heavy. You know, kind of a bit like this. You don't have to look like the Michelin Man. Plus it's not very practical because I don't have very much range of movement. And I've since learned that's not really the best way to pack. So I want to show you everything I've learned in the hopes that maybe there's other people like me out there that didn't really know much about winter packing, and share all the tips and my suggestions for how to do it. And the dogs kind of want to be in this video too, so here they are. So we've got the minimalist wardrobe here. This is all the clothes that my husband and I have. Plus we have a couple of drawers over there for t-shirts, socks, undies, stuff like that. Let's check out what we need. So I think I have everything ready. So we'll start with the chest, and layer one, you want a wicking layer. I know it seems weird to think that you'll be sweating in cold temperatures, but underneath all those layers, you will be working up a sweat, especially if you're doing any hiking or activities, where you're moving around a lot. You will be sweating. Now, the reason you need the wicking material is because sweat equals wet and wet equals cold. So the wicking material will help keep the sweat off your skin and to keep you drier, and then drier will keep you warmer. What I use is just a long sleeve shirt, and I put that as my first layer. So when you're thinking of wicking material, lots of the lightweight, athletic clothes have it. So you can just Google something that you'll be able to buy near you. But yeah, that's really important to have as your first layer and close to your skin. So the second layer is your warm layer. So you'll notice that the layers are light and purposeful, so you can wear a few of them. This is a practical guide. Like all of my other guides, I'm all about being practical and purposeful and useful without having sort of excessive stuff. So your second layer is going to be a warm layer. Now I change my warm layer depending on how cold it's going to be. So if I'm doing Norway in the dead of winter, I'm going with something really warm like this. My Patagonia warm layer, which is just a jumper, and even a heavier net sweater, something like that. Depending on how cold. I've done cold places that are not freezing cold. I've done it with just a long sleeve flannel or a light sweater. So change it up depending on where you're going to go, but the purpose of this layer is to be the snug layer. It's going to keep you warm. So like I mentioned, this Patagonia one is one that I've used a lot. It's just a jacket that I'll put over my wicking layer, but it's really snug. It really helps keep me warm and snug under all there. Okay, so layer 3 on the chest, you want it to be your waterproof and windproof layer. So I have 3 different jackets, and I still switch them up depending on where I'm going. If it's not too cold, I usually just go with this. I have a Patagonia waterproof jacket, and that's a really good one. And you just buy it a little size up so that it can fit over a sweater or something. If it's really cold, you're going to the snow or something, I would lean more towards this heavier jacket, or I have this other jacket. So both of those, I just flip between the two depending on how cold I think it's going to be. Norway in the dead of winter, I'm probably going to lean more towards this one. I just went to Switzerland and hiked around in the snow last week, and I chose this one. It really depends just how cold it's going to be wherever you're going, but the purpose of this layer is to block you from the wind, because you'll know if you've been in cold wind, it cuts right through, and it's oftentimes worse than the temperature itself. So you want a nice windbreaker, and then also something waterproof to keep you dry. So again, dry is warm. Just always remember that. If you're dry, you're warm. My Patagonia one is really waterproof. These two are slightly less waterproof, but they're way warmer. So, I just mix it up depending on what I need from the trip. Okay, we'll get to the bottom layers now. So Most of the time, I just have one layer on my bottoms because I'm pretty much covered from here and then up to my shins with my boots. So it's only like this part of my leg that's out, and it doesn't get as cold, and if it does get cold, it's way more tolerable than like my chest being cold. So most of the time I go with just a one layer, but like I said, if I'm doing like Norway in the dead of winter, I'm double layering that because that's the type of trip where you need that extra layer for sure. So depending on your trip, you're gonna wanna mix up what you wear. So when I'm wearing 2 layers, which is basically snow weather, like really, really cold, I'll just put a pair of gym pants on as my first layer. They usually have a good amount of wicking material, like I mentioned with the chest, to keep the sweat off. And the ones I have here are from Zella, and they're a thicker pair as well, so they provide a little bit of warmth along with the wicking. So it's kind of a double win. And then most times for my second layer, I just wear jeans. So just a basic pair of jeans, and I put them on over the gym leggings. So I should mention that I've never been skiing or snowboarding or anything cool like that. So if you were doing a winter trip where you're going to be doing those kinds of things, you're going to need more than just jeans. You know, maybe you can wear jeans around the resort, but when you do the skiing and snowboarding and outdoor adventurous activities, you're going to want a pair of pants that are waterproof and windproof over a wicking layer or a warm layer as well underneath. So if you are doing any sort of outdoor adventures like skiing and snowboarding and things like that, you're definitely going to want to get a pair of the waterproof, windproof pants to put over a wicking layer, and you can get them from most like athletic stores or outdoor stores. For me, that's mostly sort of sightseeing and hiking and things like that. I can get away with jeans pretty well, so I haven't invested in a pair of those pants. But if you do have any recommendations for pants like that, brands you love or types you love or what you have to look out for, please let me know in the comments because I'll probably need to buy some at some point soon. So I would love your tips. Okay, so that's got the chest and the bottoms covered pretty much for your layering how to pack. So obviously if you're going away for like a week or something, you're going to want to have a couple of each so you can swap them out each day to keep them clean and dry. But that's basically the strategy I use for packing for a winter trip. Okay, so now for the head. One second. So just forgive me, I'm having an endo flare up at the moment. So just standing and talking is taking a lot of energy, and I'm in a bit of pain right now, but I'm gonna finish this video today because it's not gonna interrupt my schedule. Diva face on. We're gonna keep going. Okay, so for your head, you're gonna want a beanie, and you're gonna want a wool beanie. So I got this one in Estonia, and it's just really cute. It's like a souvenir that's practical and I can use. But definitely go for a wool beanie because it's gonna help keep you warmer, trap some of the heat in, and help wick away a little bit of the sweat as well. For your hands, I also got these in Estonia. I got them together. So just again, you want to go for wool when you're thinking about your warm layer on the chest as well, and then your beanie, gloves, socks, all try and get wool if you can. I have a pair of these little wool mittens, and they are really nice for keeping me warm. But I also use, Coco, where did they go? There it is. I have a pair of these gloves. If I'm out taking photos at night or if it's really cold, I put these gloves on underneath, and they just help you to be able to use like your phone and your camera. They don't really keep you very warm, but it's just something to help when it is really cold. And yeah, so I can still like take a photo because obviously with this I cannot take a photo at all. So I sometimes wear these underneath, and I put, if it's really, really cold, I put a hand warmer in this one and wear it, and then put that over the top. Okay, socks and shoes. So like I said, hands, feet, warm layer on the chest, and beanie. Try and get wool if you can. So wool socks, thick wool socks are a really good investment to get. I use like these, they have dog hair and my hair all over them. Try and get wool socks, and then as thick as you can to keep your feet warm, because it's not like you're going to be layering socks. When you're looking for boots, you want to look for a couple of things. Firstly, waterproofness. If they're not a super waterproof boot, you can spray it with a waterproof coating if you need. Otherwise, I'd just invest in something that is a little bit waterproof. I was hiking in Switzerland on the weekend and I had to walk through a puddle on part of the trail, and the puddle went like up to here and my feet were completely dry because these are waterproof. But even if you're not walking through puddles, like just having snow on your shoes is going to melt down and wet your feet, so that's why you need the waterproofness. So try and get some waterproof ones or spray your boots with a waterproof coating. The rubber on the bottom and a little bit of height off the ground is a good thing to look out for. Mine has a nice warm inside as well, which is always awesome because anything that helps keep your feet warm is appreciated. So I think that's it. This is how I layer my clothes and plan out my packing for a winter trip. And doing it this way and layering up in like a practical and purposeful way, I could easily do a week's worth of clothes in my Patagonia backpack. I've mentioned it a million times, you know, it's the one I love. But yeah, I could do a week's worth of clothes easy in this, plus have my blogging and vlogging and laptop gear and everything. Hopefully these tips have helped you as well. The only thing I would add is that if it was really, really cold and I was going into the snow, I might just add an extra layer on top of the wicking layer on my chest. So go wicking layer and then probably a singlet that's a bit tighter so it's going to cling in a little bit more, and then do a warm layer and then do a waterproof layer. That's the only thing I would do differently if I was going into really cold weather. So I hope this has helped you. If it has, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'm really starting to do more videos and trying to grow the channel, so it's a big help and I appreciate it. Otherwise, I will see you next time.